Buckle in, skip the intro, we're getting right into this. Punisher from Marvel versus Peacemaker from DC. Two of the deadliest heroes in their universes. Who wins? Let's break down their stats and find out.
Should steal your whole bill.
What are we gonna do about him?
Hey, no! Let's start off with Punisher. Frank was an elite Marine who participated in several extremely dangerous missions in both Iraq and Afghanistan. His precision-planned military style involves ambushes quite often. He will kill all or most of his targets, and he has been able to take on multiple opponents in gun battles, even when he is severely outmanned and outgunned. He was also able to evade elite SWAT teams sent to apprehend him on several occasions. His prowess in hand-to-hand combat is also exceptional. He was able to engage an elite martial artist, such as Daredevil, multiple times, and fight him on equal footing. He could take out no less than 10 inmates sent to kill him with makeshift prison weapons while he was incarcerated and completely unarmed. He's also extremely perceptive and very vigilant, because his line of work makes him a constant target. It's nearly impossible to get the drop on him unless it's by an extremely stealthy opponent. All of these combined traits and training have made the Punisher a name everyone fears. But what about Peacemaker? The man who believes in achieving peace at any cost, no matter how many people he has to kill for it in the process. Peacemaker is visibly very strong for a human, but he's much more than just that. Peacemaker is extraordinarily resilient. He walked away from a car crash, was barely phased after being struck with a metal grate during his duel with Flag, and ultimately survived getting shot in the throat by Bloodsport, and being crushed under the rubble after the collapse of Jotunheim. After recovering, he only needed to replace a clavicle. He can also withstand long falls, as seen when he failed to jump onto a balcony and hit the pavement. Smith is also able to withstand multiple slashes and stab wounds. Peacemaker is a world-class marksman, like Punisher. Due to his rigorous training from birth by his father, Augie Smith, his experience as a violent vigilante, combined with his powerful physique and stamina, Peacemaker is a phenomenally well-seasoned hand-to-hand combatant. He has training in wrestling, Muay Thai, judo, fencing, and combat shooting. His skill is great enough that he was even able to brutally fight the highly trained military colonel, Rick Flag. So who wins? Before that, subscribe if you aren't already, and comment the next Versus video you want to see me do. Now, let me start off by saying that this was an extremely close matchup. Both are very capable hand-to-hand fighters, with the slight edge to Punisher because he held his own with Daredevil, who is a top-tier street-level fighter. I'd give the slight edge on durability to Peacemaker, being that he survived being shot in the throat, followed by a building collapsing on him. I'd call it an even match with weapons and marksmanship. But the last part, that X Factor. The Punisher is always several steps ahead of his opponents. He makes sure to scope out the battlefield and have layered contingencies in place. This can involve explosions, escapes, traps, weapons caches, and more. With all of that said, I'm declaring the Punisher the winner. But what do you think? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time. Homelander is the leader of the Seven, essentially the Justice League of the Boys universe. His origin is one we've all heard. A small little boy falls out of the sky, not a spaceship to his name. But even so, he fell into a prairie where he was raised by all American farmers. Basically Superman. This is what the public is told, yet it couldn't be further from the truth. The truth is that he is not an alien, rather, he is a man that was given extreme amounts of Compound V from the time he was a fetus. His mother was a mentally challenged woman who was killed off as soon as he was born. Homelander often treats people terribly, and because of his powers, he thinks he can do whatever he pleases. And because Vought owns the media companies, they can usually sweep things under the rug or gaslight the public. They had to gaslight hard to cover up Homelander's first major screw-up. During the terrorist attack on 9/11, the Seven got involved, but only made things worse. While carrying the 7-member Mr. Marathon, Homelander flew through a plane which killed his teammate and destroyed the plane. Homelander also killed a large number of people on a plane via his sonic scream. In the end, the result was the World Trade Center was unfazed, but the Brooklyn Bridge was vaporized. This failure did not seem to faze Homelander. If anything, it emboldened him. Later on in his career, he goes to Herogasm, where he tricks the superhero Soldier Boy into sleeping with him, telling him it was tryouts for the Seven. If that wasn't messed up enough, he flew up into the air soon after with a bottle of alcohol and hit an airplane head-on. Of course, this killed all the passengers. Probably Homelander's biggest power move was his coup of the US government. To do this, he rallies the majority of the super community on his side in secret. When the time is right, Homelander flew to the White House with an army of superhumans, leaving a path of death and destruction. Homelander personally killed everyone in the White House himself. Then, Homelander's confronted by Billy Butcher, who blames him for what happened to his wife, Becca. But they both learn that Black Noir is a clone of Homelander who committed horrible acts and blamed it on Homelander, so that he would have an excuse to kill him. This is actually the only reason Black Noir exists in the comics, to frame, and if need be, kill Homelander. The problem was, Black Noir is completely psychotic and actually enjoys the messed up things he does. The revelation that he never touched Becca, but it was Black Noir, threw Homelander into a rage. The two fought it out tooth and nail right there in the White House. Both of them evenly matched, yet both dying by the end of it all.
While there are quite a few moments in The Boys that have left fans with questions or in utter disbelief, it's safe to say that audiences can never be too sure of what's to come. Aside from more shocking moments, today we are going to take a look at top 10 brutal moments in The Boys comic. Number 10. Huey holds on to Robin for dear life. Serving as the catalyst for Huey's decision to join The Boys, Robin's death quickly introduced viewers to the vicious world the series would create. Not only was Robin's sudden obliteration a moment of surprise, but the fact that Huey still had a hold of her hands afterward is a lasting image. Additionally, the fact that no actions were taken against A Train clearly defined the reality of the situation and society's treatment of its heroes. What's more, Robin's death has been Huey's motivation throughout much of his journey, and one that's brought up again in Season 3. Number 9. Popclaw's pleasure leads to a lot of pain. In Season 1, Popclaw plays a pivotal role in helping the boys uncover the truth about Vought's superheroes. Popclaw possesses super strength as a result of her compound V use and, like A Train, begins to abuse it. This takes a negative turn when Popclaw kills her landlord by crushing his head between her thighs while he performed oral sex. Creators of The Boys have used sex scenes in a way that captures the animosity within the characters. While there are times that display characters' intimacy with one another, the use of sex in The Boys often defies conventional wisdom and leaves viewers to wrap their minds around what they just witnessed. Number 8. Homelander drinks some milk to take the edge off. While Homelander didn't have a traditional childhood, or birth for that matter, he aims to recapture those lost moments through his relationship with Madeline Stillwell. Homelander even grows jealous of Stillwell's newborn son, feeling as though he's been replaced as her #1 priority. Things take a weird turn when Homelander decides to drink Stillwell's breast milk that she saved. The scene serves well to capture Homelander's inner child and his desperate need for comfort and validation, a theme that will continue throughout the series in similarly unnerving ways. Number 7. Termite's fulfillment of a sexual fantasy turns explosive. The creators of The Boys continue to raise the bar when it comes to creative deaths. At a party, Termite shrinks himself to have sex with a doll for the crowd's entertainment. The stakes are raised when, after drug-fueled foreplay, Termite shrinks down once again and jumps into his partner. The audience gains a very personal view as Termite journeys through the man's phallus, increasing the pleasure as he ventures deeper. Things take a turn when Termite becomes irritated by the cocaine he snorted, which eventually leads to a sneeze, forcing Termite to regrow and exploding his partner's body. Number 6. Homelander kills himself. In Season 2, Homelander exploits Doppelganger's shapeshifting abilities in order to relive his intimate moments with Madeline Stillwell. The plan works for some time, but Homelander soon finds that the situation isn't as exciting as it once was. Doppelganger assumes Homelander's form and attempts to continue their foreplay, but is met with a furious chokehold and a broken neck. The visual of two Homelanders in the same room is surprising enough, but the fact that he kills himself seems to speak to a larger idea. Homelander has been in a constant war with his identity, which goes even deeper during the series' 3rd season as he begins to reveal his true nature. Number 5. Billy Butcher lets the power course through his veins. Despite his criticism and anger towards Supes, Butcher becomes one himself in order to give the boys a fighting chance. The Temp V proves successful, as Butcher kills Gunpowder and even goes toe-to-toe with Homelander. However, Butcher quickly abuses the drug and its benefits, despite Starlight's warning of imminent death. In a way, Butcher's abuse of Temp V speaks to his need to gain control of the situation. Where Butcher's father was a bully to him and his brother, so too are the Supes towards normal civilians. Butcher's actions may not always be the right approach, but more often than not they are rooted in his desire to protect those he cares about. Number 4. Ryan chooses Homelander. In the midst of the Season 3 finale showdown between the boys, Soldier Boy, and Homelander, Ryan surprises everyone when he stands by Homelander. Not only does this go against every one of Becca's wishes, but the heartbreak that plagues Butcher's face is devastating. Not only does this complicate an already complex dynamic between Butcher and Homelander, but it also gives the viewers insight into Ryan's possible character arc as the series progresses. This becomes even more apparent during the final moments of the finale when a slight smile appears on Ryan's face after Homelander murders a man, leaving viewers with a sinking feeling as the inevitable consequences are sure to be dire. Number 3. Soldier Boy pulls a Darth Vader. In arguably the most shocking twist of Season 3, Soldier Boy reveals that he is in fact Homelander's father. Just as Homelander is thrown, the audience is left to wonder what this means for the two heroes, as well as Vought and the boys. What's more, the possibility of Soldier Boy and Homelander teaming up could not only destroy Vought, but it could completely change the world as they know it. It's safe to say that given the ego within both Homelander and Soldier Boy, no character is safe from their wrath moving forward. Number 2. Paragasm lived up to the hype. The highly anticipated Season 3 episode left fans both shocked and fully entertained. From copious amounts of bodily fluids to powers being used for pleasure on full display, Paragasm is an episode that viewers will reminisce upon for the foreseeable future. Despite the excessive sex, enormous phallus, and bestiality, the boys' writers were able to create some very emotional moments. Mother's Milk finally confronts Soldier Boy, Huey confesses his envy of Starlight, and Starlight speaks out against Homelander and the corruption within Vought. What's more, the episode contains one of the season's most impressive fight scenes as Billy, Huey, and Soldier Boy aim to put an end to Homelander for good. Number 1. Homelander shows his true self and people. After Homelander introduces Ryan as his son during a rally, things seem to be going well. That is until a Starlight supporter throws an object and hits Ryan. In a fit of anger, Homelander lasers the man's head off in front of everyone. Instead of running away in fear, the crowd bursts into a frenzied cheer, applauding Homelander for his actions. The realization that Homelander can ignore all rules and still be idolized is a terrifying idea. The shock on Homelander's face as his supporters laud him builds upon the beliefs that were presented after his birthday speech. What's more, now that Stan Edgar is gone and no one is there to hold Homelander accountable, his actions will only continue to get worse. Superman is a powerhouse, famously known for his incredible strength, eyes that produce heat vision, and his legendary cape. Similarly, many iconic movie characters have been patterned after the Kryptonian, sharing similar powers and abilities with the indestructible Man of Steel. Today we are gonna take a look at top 10 Superman copycat characters. Number 10. Starring in the NBC superhero-oriented series, Heroes, Nathan embodies the power of a Superman. Heroes graced the movie franchise in 2006 with a unique storyline. The sci-fi series has 4 seasons, which officially ended in 2010. Similar to any superhero series, that cast is filled with characters possessing superhuman abilities. However, even among the fantastic abilities the show offers, Nathan Petrelli is among the more amazing ones. Number 9. Brandon Bayer. Although Superman is portrayed as a justice-inclined character, his darker, more fearful versions are present in the comics and the animated show Superman, Red Son. In a way, Brandon Bayer from Brightburn alludes to this fact. Brandon Bayer is a striking iteration of Superman but in dark ways. First off, he is introduced as an alien with flight ability who lives on a farm in Kansas, a striking reference to the story of Superman. Number 8. Hancock. Hancock's abilities are strikingly similar to Superman's with his superhuman strength and speed, flight ability, and regenerative abilities. Movie fans have frequently compared both characters due to their uncanny similarities. Number 7. Bizarro. The dominant belief is that Bizarro is the evil clone of Superman. However, some stories also suggest that Bizarro originates from another dimension. Either way, Bizarro is a character modeled after Superman, who is powerful but is the evil, antagonistic version of the superhero. Number 6. All Might. All Might is one of the major supporting characters in the superhero anime series, My Hero Academia. While possessing the one-for-all quirk, All Might was the boisterous version of Superman. His heroic principles and beliefs made him an icon, recognized as the symbol of peace. Superman is central to the DC superhero world in that without him, the hero-villain power balance will be thrown into chaos. In this manner, All Might is similar. He became a symbol against villains, an icon that combats evil with his powerful abilities such as super strength and super speed. Number 5. Shazam. Shazam is one of the hero characters in the DC universe who closely mirrors Superman in several ways. However, his backstory is quite different from the iconic character. Shazam is the hero name used by Billy Batson, a young boy gifted with the ability of ancient gods. Due to getting his powers from 6 different deities, Shazam is both powerful and wise compared to most superheroes. Number 4. Ikaris. Ikaris was one member of the Eternals who tried to stay true to Arisham's goal even to the end. Ikaris is another Superman iteration who possesses remarkable abilities, such as superhuman strength, speed, flight, and optic blasts bolstered by his eternal physiology that grants him immortality. Number 3. Omni-Man. Omni-Man is the father of the main character in the Invincible comic series as well as the animated adaptation. As a soldier member of the Viltrumite race, a people who possess extraordinary powers, Omni-Man was sent to Earth to dominate it and make the Omni-Man is a more despicable version of Superman who shares similar powers to that of the iconic hero. Number 2. Homelander. Homelander is one of the darkest Superman analogs in the fictional world. In the 4-season Amazon Prime show, Homelander possesses key Superman abilities such as heat vision, super strength, and super speed. Although his powers are drawn from Compound V, he is still one of the strongest Supermen in the movie industry. Number 1. Superboy. Superboy is a hybrid Kryptonian human, a clone created using Superman's DNA. Superboy may not be as strong as Superman, but still, he shares the Kryptonian powers Superman possesses, making him the most mirrored version of the iconic DC character. We all admire superheroes. As children, we wish to be like them. As adults, we still wish to be like them. But now that we've explored the world of the worst superheroes, so let's roll on to the top 10 worst superheroes of all time. Number 10. The Red Bee. The Red Bee name refers to 2 fictional superheroes that feature in fantasy books. The first Red appeared in Quality Comics Hit Comics number 1, released in July 1940. The character was purchased by DC Comics in 1956 and has since been published into the public domain. In the 1940s, the Red Bee was a superhero armed with a tool belt, a stinger rifle, and the power to summon a swarm of bees if he felt the sudden urge to make some honey. Richard Raleigh lacked superpowers, but he specialized in the use of trained bees and carried a special stinger gun. Jenna Raleigh has a human/insect biology, which allows her to have improved physical traits, produce pheromones, and mark individuals for later monitoring. She used to wear a mechanized warsuit that increased power and flight and 2 massive robotic bees that could fire electricity blasts. Number 9. Arm Fall-Off Boy. Arm Fall-Off Boy, Floyd Belkin, was a 30th century DC Comics superhero. He first appeared in Secret Origins, Volume 2, Number 46, December 1989, drawing from a manuscript by Gerard Jones, who founded him on a parody fan character, Kurt Swan. The Arm Fall Off Boy character was reintroduced briefly as a splitter after 0 Hour. He will loosen his limbs and then use them as arms. In Legionnaires, Volume 4, Number 12, Matter Eater Lad believes that he won power by carelessness while possessing the anti-gravitational metal element 152, but the Matter Eater Lad may not have been serious. His story is not discussed in his first appearances. He asked for the First Legion trial in his presentation and refused the First Legion. Number 8. Razorback. It is discovered during John Byrne's run on She-Hulk that Razorback can pilot almost any car or transport, intuitively, drive or work, even though he is unaware of its service. Byrne later admitted that it was intended as a joke to show existing characters as mutants and a nod to Marvel's theme at the time. Razorback is a professional engineer and self-teacher who has designed 2 cab tractor trucks with innovative protection mechanisms, upgraded motors, and self-driving capability. In the wake of Spectacular Spider-Man, the Buford Hollis edition of Razorback came out in Volume 1 Number 12. His first complete appearance in Volume 1 Number 13 Spectacular Spider-Man, where Archie Goodwin, Bill Madlow, and Sal Buscema were made. Number 7. Color Kid. The Color Kid was a member of the Replacement Heroes Legion. These guys banded together and formed a group after they were all ignored by the Superheroes League because they had very lame powers to show. Color Kid was an assistant scientist on his homeworld, but he endured a multicolored light beam from a different scale, entitling him to alter the color of the thing. Color Kid has a skill that could alter the color of the earth and heaven during a critical battle. The green kryptonite cloud surrounding the planet even turned blue, which had a detrimental influence on invading animals. Regardless of his few wins, the talents of Color Kid are minimal, so if you ever look into the mirror and don't like hair color or feel your walls need a revival, ask Color Kid, he will help you out but still very underrated. Number 6. Squirrel Girl. Born with a fuzzy squirrel's strong skills, Squirrel Girl has taught in her local high school. She escaped and found shelter in the nearby forests and soon became their master in the squirrel population and had a specific bond with Monkey Joe and was a sidekick to one of her squirrel fans. She became Iron Man's sidekick, packed with new confidence. She embittered Iron Man and exhibited her squirrel-based strength, but the youth did not amuse him. Eventually, she finished in a bothering spot and was struck in Dr. Doom catch. Squirrel Girl ordered her squirrel army to chew the Iron Man machine so that she was released. Iron Man never refused Squirrel Girl even though the army defeated him. The forces of squirrels are some crazy powers but still disappointed the readers. Number 5. Mannequin. A character by Bill Madlow and Dave Ross is Mannequin, Whitman Knapp. In Alpha Flight number 44 March 1987, Mannequin first appeared. Whitman Knapp saw the Alpha Flight at Lionel Jeffries' New Life Clinic for the first time, aka Scrambler. Madison, Lionel's brother, was Alpha Flight's chief engineer. Another Alpha Flight member, Roger Box, formed a mission bent and could not safely phase out his robotic armor. He was sent for treatment to the New Life Clinic. Dr. Knapp has maintained contact for some time now with the Canadian Super Team. He formed a strong connection with Persuasion slowly but gradually. In different stages of evolution, Mannequin will form into 3 separate entities. Number 4. Krypto the Superdog. Krypto was the pet puppy on Krypton Superman until he was sent to space, and it devastated the world. When arriving on the Earth, he is an accomplished canine with comparable powers to Superman. Kevin Whitney, 9, whose family believes Krypto is an ordinary Labrador recorder. His family adopts Krypto. Although when the canine does valiant deeds and battles evil, he gives a hidden superdog name. Except for Kevin, a bratty cousin Bailey is the only one who knows Krypto's secret. He lies so much that nobody thinks he is speaking about his puppy. Superman's dad, Jor-El, will be building a ship and placing a white puppy called Krypto inside it and is about to send Krypto to take a test flight to see if the ship is secure enough to fly in interstellar directions. Krypto unintentionally presses some keys on board the submarine, allowing the ship to sleep deeply as the ship returns to Earth. Number 3. Leather Boy. For several causes, Jean Lorraine, Leather Boy, may be one of the worst superhero heroes on the Gracebook page for several reasons. First off, he doesn't have any true superpower to forgive him if he was Batman. However, he is not. He's a man who was searching for BDSM who has a classified ad for superheroes. He has a newspaper. He's a straight man dressed like a bear Leatherman. So in the event you were unknown, there is strange racial exploitation of LGBTQ lifestyles. It's tough to like him between taking the gays and the BDSM nonsense. Leatherboy has turned poor and threatened to murder a little squirrel named Tippy Toe, Squirrel Girl's newest criminal partner, who, admittedly, also has one of the worst superpowers out there to date. Deadpool rescued Tippy, who was very awesome, from being pulverized by Jean. What's not cool is that someone felt that character was a smart idea. Number 2. Doorman. A member of Great Lakes Avengers, his strength was to become a portal across and around him to bring up other characters. The superpower of Doorman is to move people from one room to the next is extremely lame, but the rooms have to be next to each other otherwise, their abilities do not function. His power as a literal door is sufficiently lame, but its power is confined to touching areas, and the lame scale bursts. I mean, if Doormat could at least teleport people, it would raise the importance of Doormat. The Doorman can transmit people through solid walls, his own body acting as a kind of gateway. His all-black look was a traditional material dressing compared to heavy white eyepieces in his mask. Number 1. Doorman. A member of Great Lakes Avengers, his strength was to become a portal across and around him to bring up other characters. The superpower of Doorman is to move people from one room to the next is extremely lame, but the rooms have to be next to each other otherwise, their abilities do not function. His power as a literal door is sufficiently lame, but its power is confined to touching areas, and the lame scale bursts. I mean, if Doormat could at least teleport people, it would raise the importance of Doormat. The Doorman can transmit people through solid walls, his own body acting as a kind of gateway. His all-black look was a traditional material dressing compared to heavy white eyepieces in his mask. In this video, we are going to talk about top 10 strongest villains in comics, so before starting this video, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for future updates. The universe needs equilibrium. Every ray of sunshine is accompanied by a downpour. Every fast has a corresponding slow. And there is evil for every good. The same is true for comic books. There must be forces working against one another for them to function, and there are. Fantastic work has been done in comic books to create people, settings, realms, and realities that are in conflict with one another. Here is the list of top 10 strongest villains in comics, so let's start. Number 10. Apocalypse. Apocalypse is regarded as the original mutant. Apocalypse is the original mutant and is thousands of years old. Apocalypse is a character who has been around for many millennia and has accumulated a database of knowledge that only a select few have access to. Apocalypse has plenty of power if the adage knowledge is power is accurate. Apocalypse is a mutant who won the gene pool when powers were being distributed, in the event that his knowledge for some reason fails him. Apocalypse's mutation allows him to change his size. Number 9. Kong the Conqueror. Kong has time on his side, unlike a few other of the most potent Marvel supervillains. In other words, time travel is on his side. Nathaniel Richards, who was born in the future, is actually Kong. Kong was fascinated by the past because he was a person from the future. Number 8. Magneto. Magneto debuted in 1963's X-Men #1 and has since alternated between being a supervillain and a hero. He is consistently one of the most potent figures on the battlefield, regardless of which side of the conflict he is on. Omega-level mutant Magneto has the ability to manipulate the metal on Earth. This entails that he can use it as a weapon, fly with it, throw it, shape it, and more. Magneto is such a formidable opponent that, on more than one occasion, he has single-handedly stopped the Avengers in their tracks and forced the X-Men to flee. Number 7. Dr. Doom. As the ruler of Latveria, Dr. Doom is a villain that everyone in Marvel is afraid of. He's a practitioner of magic, a brilliant scientist, has an incredible knowledge of all weapons, and can build anything that he thinks of. When he first appeared, he was considered the mortal enemy of the Fantastic Four. Over time, however, his villainy has spilled over to just about every hero alive. Unfortunately, none of the above is what makes him one of the most powerful Marvel supervillains. Number 6. Thanos. One of the Marvel characters that is most feared on his own is Thanos. He is one of the smartest characters in Marvel Comics, in addition to having superhuman strength, endurance, reflexes, and agility. Once he has gathered and used the Infinity Gems, or stones as they are now known, he is practically unstoppable. Number 5. Mephisto. Mephisto is the devil of the Marvel Universe. He resides in the underworld and spends his time concocting plans of pure evil and chaos. Number 4. Dormammu. Not only was Dormammu developed by the illustrious duo of Steve Ditko and Stan Lee, but it is also one of the most entertaining names in comics to pronounce. He initially appeared in the pages of Strange Tales number 126, and ever since then, he has caused chaos throughout the Marvel Universe. Number 3. Galactus. Galactus is a powerful force that roams the universe seeking out new worlds to devour. However, he is not wholly evil in his motivations. He acts in this way because the worlds provide him food. That is, he would pass away without consuming universes. Galactus offers other beings enormous power in exchange for their service rather than discovering the worlds himself. Number 2. Beyonder. The Beyonder is a cosmic being that Mike Zeck and Jim Shooter invented that is almost omnipotent, almost omniscient, and almost omnipresent. He originally debuted in the renowned Secret Wars of 1984, and he has since made numerous subsequent appearances. He was the figure in charge of assembling the biggest Marvel villains and heroes and compelling them to engage in a battle royale in his debut appearance. He took this action because he wanted to see the ongoing conflict between good and evil. Number 1. Phoenix Force. The Phoenix delivers death and rises from the ashes it leaves behind, just like the well-known mythological bird. Within the Marvel Universe, the Phoenix Force is the supreme force. It is created in the space between states of being and is both changeless and eternal. Additionally, it serves as the epicenter of all past, present, and future psionic energy. That's it for today. We hope you found our video interesting. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and share it with others. Also, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to our channel. In the end, thanks for watching. While the Marvel Universe is known for patriotic and powerful heroes, there are also quite a few funny characters that have entertained fans for years. Today we are gonna take a look at top 10 funniest comic characters. Number 10. Hawkeye. Clint Barton was raised in the circus alongside his older brother where they learned archery and the skills needed to survive on their own, which resulted in Hawkeye's thick skin and sarcastic wit that tends to rub some of his heroic peers the wrong way. However, it also makes Hawkeye one of the funniest Marvel characters as he doesn't hesitate to turn his barbed words against the villains he's facing to tear them down verbally and hilariously shake them up before he ever even draws his bow. His humor has also been showcased in other media as one of the only things to turn Hulk back into Bruce Banner. Number 9. Squirrel Girl. While Doreen Green/Squirrel Girl was originally introduced as a bit of a joke character that saw her team up with teams like the Great Lakes Avengers, over the years she has evolved to not only become one of the most popular heroes, but also the most comedic. Squirrel Girl's infectious optimism and high-spirited enthusiasm may not be used to tell non-stop jokes, but fans will nonetheless be laughing over her sometimes awkward but always enjoyable interactions with the rest of the Marvel Universe. Number 8. Strong Guy. Guido Carosella's mutant ability to convert kinetic energy into physical mass made him a powerful and successful cosmic bodyguard for the intergalactic rock star Lila Cheney and a longtime member of groups like X Factor as Strong Guy, whose name alone should tease his sense of humor. Strong Guy also found work as a stand-up comedian when he wasn't working with X Factor investigations, which served as an outlet for him. However, Strong Guy is at his funniest when he's fighting alongside his friends and trying to make them, and the fans, laugh in the process. Number 7. Human Torch. The Fantastic Four are a close-knit family of superheroes, adventurers, and explorers that includes Johnny Storm/Human Torch as one of the team's most powerful members, though he is also one of the most immature and hilarious when he's off the clock. Johnny has a close friendship with his teammate Ben Grimm/The Thing that has seen countless pranks exchanged between the two over the years. Human Torch showcases his pranking skills with his other close friends like Spider-Man as well, and he's always quick to provide someone with a hot foot to get a laugh. Number 6. Star-Lord and Rocket Raccoon. It can be difficult trying to decide which comedic member of the Guardians of the Galaxy is more humorous, as Star-Lord is always quick with a funny insult or comment while Rocket Raccoon, well, he's a talking raccoon which is inherently funny. However, the two characters are at their comedic best when they are playing off of each other on zany cosmic heists and adventures. Their long-lasting friendship saw them bond over a mutual appreciation for making fun of other people and epic one-liners in the midst of battle. Number 5. The Captain. One of the funniest team books Marvel has ever produced was Nextwave, which first introduced fans to the foul-mouthed superhero known only as the Captain because his previous name was so vile that Captain America threw him into a dumpster. While almost every member of Nextwave was at their comedic best during their time on the team, the Captain's expletive-filled rants against superhero tropes and the villains they faced made him an instant hit with fans who are hoping to see more of the powerfully funny character. Number 4. She-Hulk. While the Hulks of the Marvel Universe aren't usually known for their biting wit and clever nods to the audience, Jennifer Walters is not usually like her cousin and spent quite a few years entertaining comic readers as She-Hulk with her fourth-wall-breaking humor. She-Hulk would frequently berate the comic creators and tear through pages if the story wasn't moving fast enough for her, and she became a valuable member of teams like the Avengers and the Fantastic Four both because of her strength and her dynamic personality. Number 3. Iron Man. While his sense of humor isn't usually the first thing fans and his superhero peers notice about Tony Stark/Iron Man, his sarcastic wit and arrogant attitude combine perfectly to make Iron Man one of the funniest superheroes, even if it might be unintentional. Iron Man's humor is highlighted in a number of different ways, whether it's his deprecating discussions with the villains he faces or the lively back-and-forths with his teammates like Captain America, and it can even bleed out into his inventions, as the AIs that run his armors often inherit his unique sense of humor. Number 2. Deadpool. Another character who hilariously breaks the fourth wall is Wade Wilson/Deadpool, and one of the most popular characters who has found fame on the big screen as well thanks to his unique sense of humor. Of course, Deadpool isn't limited to his meta connection to the audience for his humor, as he cracks jokes almost non-stop while working as either an assassin or a superhero, which landed him the title of Marvel's Merc with a Mouth. Number 1. Spider-Man. While Deadpool is known for his wisecracking fighting style, no one does it better than Spider-Man, who has made quipping during fights an art form that is often imitated but never duplicated and has made him the funniest Marvel character for decades. Spider-Man has even tried his hand at stand-up comedy, though he definitely works when he improvises, though he has been known to workshop entrance and exit lines when dealing with low-level criminals. Spider-Man is also not opposed to pranking his best bud Johnny Storm or webbing J. Jonah Jameson to his chair for a laugh when the mood strikes him.